When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is Devoid of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. If you want to get access to my new content early, check out my Discord. This is the arrival of Brightburn, Part 4. Let's continue where we last left off in our story, as Scarecrow and Brightburn clash out with their weapons once again, as a ice scythe collided with a metal scythe, totally pushing back Scarecrow as Brightburn used more strength with each strike he unleashed. Despite Brightburn's superior strength, he refrained from landing a killing blow. He has no bad blood against Scarecrow and doesn't have anything against him. Really has nothing against this human that's dressed like a scarecrow, because he's basically an alien. He doesn't know much about others outside of the head members of the syndicate. He's never really bothered trying to research the rest of the powerful entities that makes this planet their home. In truth, he doesn't really care, as long as they stay out of his way. He won't outright kill them. There's no reason to. His main enemy is the syndicate and their members. Brightburn redirected one of Scarecrow's swings, then immediately spin around and slam his knee into Scarecrow's stomach, forcing Scarecrow to go flying back. Instead of hitting the wall, he landed on top of the wall and used his hands and feet as a use his hands and feet to lunge off the wall, using the wall as a springboard. As he lunged forward, ready to use his scythe to cut down his opponent. Ready to cut him in half. Brightburn easily parried his attack, like he has done prior. I'm quite surprised on how skilled you are with that scythe, honestly. It's quite refreshing. I've never fought someone before that wielded such a weapon with such skill. You could take your compliments and shove it. I don't know why you're here, syndicate lackey. You're gonna die here. Brightburn couldn't help but laugh from the ridiculous idea of him working for the syndicate. It was quite insulting in his mind, as Brightburn gets extremely angry as his eyes begin to glow a bright red from his normal green. Brightburn moved so fast and swung his scythe upwards, making Scarecrow lose his balance as he tried to attempt to block the attack. As Brightburn kicked Scarecrow into the wall, Then he shot his green heat vision, destroying Scarecrow's weapon, and slammed his heel into Scarecrow's chest, pinning him to the wall. As Brightburn raised up his ice scythe, ready to strike him down. As several figures step out of the shadows of the laboratory, Brightburn didn't notice them. He was too focused on his fight with Scarecrow. As the members of the League of Shadows appeared surrounding Brightburn, as they threw a pellet down onto the ground, as black smoke was created, Brightburn stepped a few steps backwards. When the smoke dissipated, Scarecrow and the League of Shadows were nowhere to be seen. Now, I did not expect that ninja, of all things, in America, in an American city, there's a group of fucking ninjas. Interesting. Very interesting. If those ninjas didn't appear like they did, I most likely would have killed him. After all, I am still quite angry, was his remark, calling me a syndicate lackey. Like I would stoop so low to work with such insects. As he contacted Lex through his communicator, he could have done that with his, well, he could easily done that with his psychic abilities, but he chose not to. This is Luther. What can I do for you, Brightburn? I'm at the first location I came across an interesting opponent, dressed like some sort of scarecrow, wielding a collapsed metal scythe. Would be Scarecrow, Dr. Cold partner. You didn't kill him, did you? Oh, I didn't kill him. I got close. But he was rescued. By who? Some sort of ninjas. Do you have any idea who these people are? These ninjas. After all, they did appear in Gotham. The feeling seeing ninjas in Gotham is not a constant occurrence. The first idea that popped into Alexander's mind was the Court of Bats, Earth's 3 version of the Court of Owls. The Court of Bats is something I made up myself, not part of the DC lore that I know of, so you don't get confused if you try to look it up and not finding anything. Because I made it up myself. Add my own little bit to the story. Now, let's continue forward with the story. Did they have any kind of bat symbol on them? No bat symbol on those ninjas' uniforms. They were wearing all black. They didn't say anything. They just threw out some sort of smoke pellet and disappeared. With Scarecrow, when the smoke finally dissipated. It sounds like you encountered a League of Shadows. But why? They haven't been active for a long time. They went into hiding because of Ultraman when he attacked their leader, almost killing him. Starting to have a nagging feeling. There's more in play here, Alexander. Agreed, if Scarecrow is involved with the League of Shadows. So is Dr. Cold. Let's things cool off for now. Excuse the pun, but it's still valid. Despite your horrible sense of humor with that ice pun, you do have a solid point. Even if I search the entire city looking for smaller laboratories, the likelihood I would find Dr. Cold at this point would be very unlikely. Agreed, the League of Shadows most likely been harboring the both of them on their island that mysteriously disappeared. No one knows what happened to their island. It just disappeared out of nowhere. Put a pin in that for later. I'm heading back. I've already made my first move. I'll just have to find more allies as I go along. I'll be in touch. Brightburn. I need to head back before the Syndicate ask where I've been. Just continue what you've been doing by attacking their operations. I'll see if I can contact a few of my old associates to see if I can gain a couple allies on my end. I'll be in touch. Luthor out. The communication was severed. Brightburn went back into the elevator and went back to the ground level of the building. The moment he walked outside of the door, he immediately took flight and head back to the secret laboratory in the forest between Gotham and Metropolis at Alexander Luthor's vacation home, one of many. The entire laboratory outer shell is built with lead to block any X-ray vision. Surprisingly, Brightburn shared that same weakness with his Kryptonian adversary. Brightburn is continuously learning new aspects of his alien heritage as he goes. He learns real fast. Some of them are positive and some of them are negative. He still has a major weakness that he has planned to sever when Alexander Luthor collects all the information on his spacecraft computers. When that's finally finished, he'll throw the damn thing into the sun, eliminating that method to kill him. He's no fool. Despite all the power he has at his fingertips, he's not going to allow that power to get to his head. That's when you make mistakes. And Deku, who will be known as Brightburn, don't make those type of idiotic mistakes. And he never makes the same mistake twice. When he got back to the laboratory, it was pretty much quiet, outside of a few robots that maintaining the structure of the laboratory, repairing anything that needs to be repaired. They don't talk, they simply do their tasks and go about to their designated area for charging. So Brightburn mostly left them alone to do their tasks. The robots don't speak or anything, so there's no chance of having any type of civil conversation. But they wouldn't be much of a conversation anyways. Even if they could talk, the robots would just be too logical. They don't have the necessary emotions to engage in a meeting conversation. It's not like any of them have any kind of artificial intelligence. Deku rested up at the laboratory. It only took him a few hours for him to do that. The rest of the time, he could do whatever he wanted. Train, go out to one of the cities to explore. And he did just that. He put on some civilian clothes. He already took off his face guard mask, revealing his pure white hair. He placed the face guard mask in his coat. as he calmly walked out of his room. Good, you're up. As he saw Deku walk out of his room, I managed to collect a good number of different facilities under the direct control of the Syndicate, from Gotham, Metropolis, Central City, and Star City. For summary, Gotham is Owlman's territory, Metropolis is Ultraman's territory, Central City is Johnny Quick's territory, Star City is Superwoman's territory, and Power Ring doesn't have a territory. He moves around a lot, from Earth to outer space. We're unsure on what territory he has off-planet. I'll leave who you target first to you. I have a meeting to get to. I still have to run a company, and my free time is very limited. Thanks, Luther. This is going to be helpful. As Deku said his farewells and walked off, immediately began to examine the file that Lex gave him. It was a list of locations that he can target in several other cities, not just Gotham. And the list was quite long. To have so many operations going off at the same time, no wonder the Syndicate has gone so powerful. No wonder the US government can't do shit about him, about them. They got the entire country under their grip. He has no doubt if Ultraman noticed any resistance, he would definitely crush them, to use them as an example, to keep the population under his control. He has no doubt Ultraman has used all sorts of unhanded methods to get where he is today. But he'll leave Ultraman alone for now. He wants to focus on the other ones. Separating Metropolis from the equation alongside with Gotham, he wants to focus on the other cities like Central City or Star City. He couldn't really make up his mind. He grabbed a $1 coin and used his heat vision to carve Central City on one side, and the other he carved Star City on the other with his heat vision. Once he wrote what he wanted on the $1 coin, he flipped it in the air. When he caught it and slammed the coin on the top of his hand, revealing it, it landed on Star City. With his destination set, he began to make his way towards Star City. With his face guard mask inside his coat, he could change into brightburn at any time he wants. Deku flew towards Star City at a high altitude, so he doesn't attract any attention. Once he finally arrived, he hovered down into Star City as he landed into an abandoned alleyway. As he took out his face guard mask out of his coat pocket and placed it over his face, changing his white hair to black as he begins to walk out of the alleyway. Brightburn easily noticed this entire city. Superwoman has this entire city on a tight leash. There are civilians walking around, but there's a heavy presence of her military police force. He did notice all of the enforcers were all female. Deku didn't idle for long. He wasn't planning to draw attention to himself. Not just yet. As he put the hood over his head to conceal his identity, as he continued to walk down the street, while keeping an eye around his surroundings, Deku managed to find a rundown hotel and paid for a room. Once he entered his hotel room, He locked the door and closed the curtains and began to go through all the operations that is currently in process in Star City, from weapons, drugs. They also have some sort of underground tournaments. Apparently, this superwoman clearly has a diverse operations operating across the city. This superwoman has several brothels under her strict command. Clearly, she has complete control over the nightlife of the city. Deku decides to scope out his target. It might look like an ordinary school, but in truth, underneath this average-looking school is a heavy maximum security prison to hold the more powerful adversaries that the crime syndicate of America didn't outright kill. The ones they spared, they shoved them into this prison for one reason or another. Either out of fear that they might cause problems later on, or to hold some sort of leverage against someone. Deku was on a nearby building using his X-ray vision. He could see through the skull just fine, but trying to look underneath the skull was completely pointless. The entire area, wide area of the prison was built with lead, so he's unable to use his heat vision. Basically, his heat vision is completely useless at this point. Deku decides to head back into the hotel. He's going to wait till nightfall tonight to sneak in to see if he can find any possible allies. But the chance to find someone that's willing to work with him, he finds it uncertain. He's very uncertain. He's never been one to be a team player. He knows the value and he knows the value of a resourceful and powerful partner. He can't deny that, even though he prefers to work alone. Deku used what money he had to get some better clothes. He eventually bought a black outfit. It was a black overcoat, fingerless black gloves, and black boots. It was getting pretty close to showtime as he begins to get dressed. The moment he re-put on his face guard mask, his white hair turned black once again. Hope you're ready, Star City, because Brightburn is here. As he flew out of the window and flew towards the school. Brightburn immediately noticed the school had heavy presence of the military force of Star City. Much like earlier, they were all female. I can't go in there killing like I normally would. I'm going to have to go about this a lot more stealthily. More stealth would be involved. I do miss the classics. A good old-fashioned stealth mission. This is going to be fun. Brightburn had to go the long way, at the other end of the school. Going through the school football field, there was less security than compared to the front entrance to the school. He would definitely be spotted if he went through the front entrance and started killing. The prison would instantly be locked down, if he did such a thing. So he decided to go through the back gate. After using his telekinesis to knock out both of the women by slamming their heads against each other. As Brightburn walked through the small gate, following the trail, eventually leading to a fork in the road. Taking a left path will lead him towards a 3-story building on the school campus. But the right path will lead him to the main building inside the school itself, where he saw several, as he began to take that path, as he saw several then guards posting outside the door. He snapped both of their necks with his telekinesis and hid their bodies in a large bush as he took one of the enforcer's key card and scanned it against the scanner, giving him access to the interior of the school. The moment he entered the building, he found himself in a long hallway. On both sides of the hallway were lockers. And between every 5-6 lockers, there's a door to a classroom on both sides of the hallway, scattered throughout the entire hallway. Brightburn had to keep an eye on any patrolling enforcers by using the darkness as cover. The enforcers did have flashlights. He just had to stay out of their line of sight. And he did the same thing. He did just that by staying out of our line of sight and bypassing several patrols of the female enforcers, slipping past them, making them know the wiser from his presence, while searching for some sort of elevator to get access to the lower levels, or a set of stairs. The first thing he found was a set of stairs going downwards, so he decided to go down the stairs. He continued to descend even further, as the stairs seemed to go a long distance down below. He eventually made it to the bottom, where there's the elevator door waiting for him. Stupid, using an elevator now would cause too much attention to himself. The moment they heard the elevator door open up, he most likely would be surrounded. And he would try to prevent such a mistake repeating himself. He's been in this situation before in the past. Brightburn, walking to the elevator cart, uses heat vision to cut a hole as he hovered down into the elevator shaft, going deeper underground. It's not like he can't handle the conflict by choosing that option. It just would be a waste of time. He finally got to the bottom and gained access to the sub-level of the school, using the key card. As the key card was scanned, giving him entry to the prison. When he walked further, he noticed several security cameras. He uses his ability over technology to completely mask himself, basically making him invisible to anyone watching through the other end of the camera feed. He easily proceeded to sneak past all of the security cameras inside the prison. With his powers, he could easily bypass all the security cameras and the enforcers with great ease. He has complete power over all electronics. He could easily open doors just with that alone. He doesn't really need to use the key card. Brightburn just chooses to. All these security measures become completely useless. No matter what security they have, Brightburn will easily control it and bypass it. As he opened a path further into the prison, the first place Brightburn visited was the security room. He shot both of the enforcers in the back of their skull in the security room with his heat vision. As he looked through the camera feed, he knows on the lower level of the prison they have heavy security, like they're detaining something. In that specific area, the security is a lot more tighter. No cameras, no camera feed, but they're clearly holding someone powerful. Brightburn was intrigued who they're holding, or what they're holding in there. With his destination chosen, he set forth, no longer caring if his presence is noticed. He could easily teleport it, either by himself or with a companion. It matters not. He just needed to stay quiet enough to enter the prison. While inside, stealth is less important. Brightburn tore right through the prison, killing everyone in his path. When he got to the bottom level of the prison, he found himself in a large room with a large metal door that had some sort of force field over it. When he was about to get closer, a lightning bolt struck the ground between himself and the big metal door. Whoever you are, intruder, you shouldn't have come here. As Sea King, the evil version of Aquaman, revealed himself as he slammed his trident into the ground. As the sound of the trident hitting the ground echoed throughout the entire chamber of the large room, Brightburn immediately charged forward, only for his fist to be caught by the Atlantean King with one hand. The moment he caught the fist of Brightburn, the ground shook from the force of his punch. Sea King plunged his trident, hoping it would run right through him. Brightburn, sensing the power from the weapon, immediately head-butted the Sea King in the face, and immediately got some distance. He's uncertain if that weapon could actually hurt him or not. He's never felt anything like that, like it before, this golden trident that radiates power. He's unaware magic items, like that trident, could actually hurt and kill him. He engaged his opponent cautiously as he created an ice scythe. As they both approach each other, circling around each other without breaking eye contact. You have good survival instincts, boy. You're not too bad yourself, old man. But you're not going to stop me. No one's going to stop me. Whatever you keep in captive down here, I'm going to find out who or what you're keeping under lock and key. But I'm glad you're here, Syndicate scum. I'm going to enjoy killing you. I'd like to see you try. As the Sea King got into his ready stance, he pointed his three-prong trident at Brightburn. They both rushed at each other. As Scythe met with Trident, the Trident shattered the Scythe immediately when it made contact. By instinct, Brightburn blasted the Sea King with his heat vision, blasting the evil Aquaman into the wall. To Brightburn's surprise, Sea King slowly began to push through the output of his power of his heat vision and began to step forward, blocking the beams of energy with his hands, pushing forward. As Brightburn tried to increase the output of his heat vision, the Sea King plunged his trident into the ground, disrupting the array of energy. As the Sea King instantly rushed forward, ready to plunge his trident into Brightburn's chest. The moment the Sea King plunged his weapon forward, Brightburn teleported behind him and slammed his fist into the back of his skull, then pushed him forward with a very powerful psychic energy blast that sent the Atlantean into the wall hard. As the ruler of Atlantis coughed up blood, The Sea King got to his feet and threw his trident, hoping to kill him, only for his eyes to widen as his trident flowed harmlessly in the air. As it looked like it was stuck in time, like it froze. As his trident slowly turned around, as his weapon pointed towards himself. As it flung towards him, he wasn't fast enough to react, as his own trident was plunged into his chest, barely missing his heart. He yanked out his own weapon out of his chest, coughing up blood. He struggled to stand on his feet, then charged forward, screaming on top of his lungs. Brightburn had to create an ice sword to block the incoming attack. Each time his weapon was beginning to crack as he collided with the powerful magic weapon. He would have to repair each time it was beginning to crack. He needs to end this fast. The Sea King landed a right hook across Brightburn's face, sending Brightburn sliding across the ground. He was surprised by his strength. He thought only a Kryptonian could push him back like this, or some human with some sort of super strength. Impressive. I see why they have you guard this prison. It's a pity, really, for someone so powerful to be just a prison lackey. Shut your fucking mouth. What's the matter? Did I stroke a nerve with you? I am the Sea King, King of Atlantis. I'm no one's lackey. And yet, you're here. A king, regulated, down to a prison warden. It seems to me your so-called allies don't respect, nor acknowledge your sovereignty, King. I know what you're trying to do, boy. Do you now? I'm starting to question your intelligence level, considering you're just a lackey. It doesn't really matter, as Brightburn was trying to distract the Sea King, as a large ice spear is slowly beginning to form behind the Atlantean, unaware of what he's planning. Before the Sea King could do anything else, a ice spear bursts out of his chest as the Atlantean coughed up blood as he fell to his knees. Without wasting a single motion, Brightburn walked towards his downed opponent and created a ice scythe and chopped off his head, killing the Sea King and carving the symbol of his house into his exposed chest with his heat vision, like he did with Bane. He carved this symbol into his chest. He immediately punched the energy barrier. The punch was so strong, the energy barrier instantly disappeared as he ripped off the large doors right through and threw it behind him, revealing a large chamber with a singular prisoner. It's a young girl, around Brightburn's age, hooked up to some sort of restraints that constantly sent in charge of electricity through her body, as Brightburn could hear her screams of pain. Blackfire was in too much pain to notice she has an audience. Brightburn immediately blasted off her restraints using his heat vision, ending her endless torture. When she was beginning to fall, Brightburn caught her in his arms Thank you. As that was the only thing that Blackfire said. That she could only mustered up. As she had no strength left, she instantly passed out in his arms. Brightburn teleported away, taking Blackfire with him, leaving the prison in shambles, and the Sea King dead, branded with his mark. This is where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Enjoy my time zone, and I'll catch you in the next video.